Hi everyone, my name is Jason Freeberg, Product Manager here at Snowflake, and today I wanted to show a quick demo with how to get started on snowflake-vcrpy. So if you aren't familiar, this is a PyTest plugin that will listen to your network requests to Snowflake, write those requests to a local file, so that way the next time you run your test suite will just read from that local file instead of making the round-trip request to Snowflake. So this is a great way to speed up your test suite. All right, so let's jump into the demo. First things first, I have a quick project set up here, and I have a stored procedure that takes in the session object, creates a little 2x2 hello world data frame, writes that to the console, and then returns the count of that data frame. So we'll go ahead and run this file here, and you can see at the bottom we have a main method that creates the session and then calls the stored procedure. And perfect, so down here we see the output of that data frame. And then along with this, I also have a test case written for this that just ensures that the output of this stored procedure has the expected number of rows. So I can come up to the top directory and then call PyTest. And then this will run my tests for the stored procedure here and also for my UDF that's called within the stored procedure. Okay, so you can see the project's up and running. We have a basic test suite set up. And so now we can add snowflake-vcrpy to this project. So what I'm going to do first is hop into my requirements.txt and add snowflake-vcrpy. And then I'll do a pip install from that requirements file. Perfect. Okay. And now I will hop over to our test here. And then all I have to do next is add a little test marker. So that way the plugin knows to record tests for this. And then I'll run my PyTest suite one more time. So now that we have snowflake-vcrpy installed, this will create a cassette file in our project directory. So over here, once this runs, we can see over on the left, it created a cassettes directory and then a YAML file with all of the request and response information. So you can see here, there's a request object with the serialized request body and all of the headers. And then down here in the response, we have the serialized response and everything else. So now when I run this test suite one more time, you can see it happens a lot faster because it's not making that round trip request. So you can imagine if I had a very large test suite like we do here at Snowflake for Snowpark, this speeds up your test suites quite a lot because you're not always changing every single test case. And that way, anything that does change will just get rewritten to a new cassette file. So what I'm going to do next here is put this into a pull request, and I'm going to include my cassette file when I push this up. So that way, when my GitHub Actions workflow runs, it can take advantage of the cassette file and execute a lot faster. So we'll just say add VCR plugin. We'll commit this to my branch, push this up, and then we'll hop back to my repository on GitHub. And then I have a pull request already created. So if we come in here, we can see this is the commit that I just made a moment ago. And then this kicked off two jobs on a GitHub Actions workflow. The first one is going to run PyTest. So this should happen pretty quick and it'll read from that cassette file. And then the other job that's running here is just to lint my Python code. Perfect. So it looks like the linter ran successfully and likewise. So let's see, how long did my run tests take? Just about a second. As we saw when I was running this in my terminal, it's pretty fast. Okay, so now let's come back to my pull request. And then as an added bonus to this demo, Once I merge this file in, or excuse me, merge in this pull request, that's going to kick off a second GitHub Actions workflow here. And this is going to rebuild my application and upload it to an artifact on GitHub. And then my deployment job will kick off, and then it will create the hello world procedure that we just saw a minute ago. And then it'll also create the UDF that we saw the test case for. And to do so, it's going to create a stage and then upload my zip of my Python source code to that stage here. So if we hop back to my Actions tab and then come into my build job, you can see that run tests, again, was very fast, 0 seconds in this case, because it's using that cassette file to speed up the unchanged test cases. And then down here in the deployment job, we're just wrapping up now, so it's running that SQL script to create the stage, upload the artifacts, and then create those objects. Perfect. So if you would like to try this out, you can go to this GitHub repository here, template Python. And not only is this great for getting started with VCRPy, it also serves as a great way to get started with Snowflake and Snowpark. It comes with the requirements.txt set up for you, GitHub Actions workflows like we just saw, and some stubs for basic UDF and stored procedure test cases. So hope you enjoyed the demo. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead and put those down in the comments below, or head over to the GitHub repository for snowflake-vcrpy, and feel free to open a pull request or an issue